Well, hello, my soul friends. It is Victoria on the Soul Nurture channel. And I just wanted to jump on, create a video. I'm not jumping on. I was going to go live and I decided not to. I want to do that more often for you. People ask me to do it. It's just, tell me what the best day of the week is for you. How about that? Best day of the week, best time. And I'll shoot for that because I do want to connect with more of you. I get a lot of emails about going live, and it just, the way that it works out is these videos that I do, instead of scheduling them, I find the time when my schedule opens, and then that's when I drop in. That's how it's been, but I can schedule time to be with you for those of you who are interested in connecting live. So put that in the comments. If this is your first time coming to join me or stopping by and being curious, who's this woman talking to me on the video here? What have I got to say? And the whole goal is, as it is called the Soul Nurture channel, is that I have something to offer from my soul to yours that resonates, that invites you to contemplation. Perhaps what I share is something you've been thinking about or been curious about. My whole mission is to support others, myself included, all of us in this human experience, to reclaim our soul potential, our authentic true nature that we came in with, that kind of got shrouded in our conditioned way of being in order to navigate and survive the human experience. So it's all about that. So watch some of my other videos if this intrigues you. I also do share a little bit about astrology, because for me, especially when I look at a soul chart for people, it is a way to connect to our souls, who God created us to be, to reclaim that beautiful soul potential, to witness our soul journey. And I think what I find, especially when I do charts for people and for myself, to be reassured that there is a divine plan in motion. So if you're interested in that, go look at the description. You can actually go to my website and request a 20-minute free consultation where I can talk about more about what I do to support my clients and possibly you, and what a soul chart looks like. So we could do a peek at your soul chart for 20 minutes, top of the trees, very top of the trees, because truly it takes, I'm still trying to understand my chart. It takes years and years and years of being present to your soul through your soul chart. Okay, so welcome, welcome, welcome. Please do comment. Let me know where you're watching from. I always love that. And if it is your first time, did I say this already? I'm not sure. It's a hot summer day here, and I'm just pausing to do this video. And so if I repeat myself, it's because I'm kind of in summer mode right now. I've got summer brain. Let's just say that. Summer brain on a Friday. You know what that means? I'm clocked out, but I'm here because I really felt called to do this video. I wanted to talk to you about something I talk about quite a bit in my videos. And then I thought, I wonder if people understand what I'm referencing when I say we are souls having a human experience. And that is really a big part of my soul work as a soul guide, as a soul nurturer, helping my clients navigate the human experience from what I call the sacred view, the view from soul and soul potential, or the divine unfolding, however you connect to that. So do subscribe, like, and comment as much as you want. If you really want to bust out of feeling limited, you're unlimited here. Comment as much as you want. Ask questions, suggest topics, or comment simply to say this is where I'm viewing from, or hey, what you just said deeply resonates and here's what's going on with me. I love comments, and I also love emails if you feel more comfortable connecting that way. All good. So years ago on my spiritual journey, which, gosh, hard to, for those of us on the spiritual journey, when did it begin? Did it begin when I was, a little girl? When I was a child, I was deeply aware of, my dream world. I was very much a vivid dreamer as a child, and I was very aware of something underneath this physical body. I remember as a child doing something that I later learned was an actual thing, which is happens, and comment if you can, if you resonate with this. When you're on a spiritual journey and you are meditating and you're praying and you're connecting, that you get guided to things, and then you find that the thing you're guided to is a thing. Like, no one told you, it suddenly just appeared in your awareness from, I believe, your soul guidance or divine guidance. So when I was a little girl, I have memories of, I don't know, 3, 4, just staring in a mirror, staring at my eyes, watching my, like, seeing different faces in the mirror. But there was something about it that was so very soothing and calming and connecting. So then later, on my soul exploration and my own unique spiritual path, and by the way, I believe, I love to hear about people's spiritual journeys. What do you believe? How do you believe? What do you believe in? I love that I'm recording this when the moon is in Sagittarius, because the moon in Sagittarius, or Sagittarius energy, is very much what do we believe, and the philosophies. And it's a good time to question, what do you believe? Why do you believe? How do you know that to be true? I mean, that is the great mystery, isn't it? How do we know what we believe is true, right? This is where our faith comes in. So I kept hearing, I think the first person I heard say it was Wayne Dyer. I call him my first spiritual teacher, because I found his books when I was 17, and he became like a spiritual father to me. And he would often say, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. And then I later discovered, as when you're on a spiritual journey, you read a book and you hear a lecture and you get more information, and your view expands and expands and expands. And so I found that, I believe the origin of the quote that Wayne Dyer, maybe Wayne got it on his own. I imagine he did. He was quite a mystic. But it's attributed to Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, a French Jesuit, I think, philosopher. And his quote, we are not human beings having a spiritual experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. And yeah, he was a philosopher and a teacher. And I really, sitting with that, it just made so much sense to me. And it was at a time when I was having a lot of physical issues in my body. And what I realized, and this is what I expanded into my teaching, is I had been denying, not the spiritual side, not my soul, very much tapped in there since I was a kid. Again, watching my dreams, being mindful, like I remember when I was little, I would just be mindful of us, souls interacting with each other. And what I believed, it was like this big play going on. And we were all just acting. I remember when I was really, really little, like I would imagine, I think this is common for kids, when a person left the room, they left the stage, and yet they continued, right? Just like when we shed our human bodies, I believe, as souls, we continue. So, but I would say it wasn't until my 30s I realized how much I was in the spiritual, focusing on soul and soul work, that I had denied the physical. I had denied my human experience. And so I'm wondering if this relates to you. What I wanted to talk about today is the imbalance and why it's important to balance. Oftentimes people say, no, we're transcending the human experience, we're transcending ego, we're moving into unity, into oneness. And I'm thinking, no, because we have a human experience for a reason. I personally believe that's how our souls evolve. We're here in our human classroom to learn lessons that expand our soul, deepen our own unique soul purpose and contribution. So if we deny the physical, if we deny the human, we're missing great opportunities. And then there's the opposite, where people are just in the human experience and disconnected from soul guidance. They don't pay attention to their dreams. There's no, and I'm not saying that this is, everyone has to have a certain religion. This isn't about religion. It's about beliefs, spirituality. What do you believe? What do you believe happens in this journey? What do you believe happens after? These are things to consider, right? And I suspect when we don't consider and we're just mired in the human experience, that's where we can feel so disconnected. We can feel so limited. And this is where my philosophy is that in the human experience is where fear is, and in the spiritual or soul experience is where love and faith and possibilities are. So it's important to balance, to tend to both. In the human experience, like for me, I was not taking care of my financial affairs. I was not taking care of my body. I was, blessed with great natural, muscular, toned body for a while. And I never really exercised. I love to be out in nature and some sports I played, but I've never thought about my body in terms of this vessel for the soul. Believe me, you get that wake-up call when you get to a certain age, that how important your vessel is, your body is, the house for your soul. That both are required. Both need your attention, your care. The daily aspects of our lives, yes, the mundane, has to be balanced with the soul care. I make a distinction that there is soul care, tending to our own souls through paying attention to our nightly dreams, to prayer, meditation, contemplation, exploring spiritual sacred texts and teachers and philosophers. And then our physical needs, exercising, moving our bodies. What are we putting into our bodies? Are we paying attention to nutrition? Are we drinking a lot of water? Are we polluting our bodies with too many foods, that when we're only in the human experience, in the conditioned experience, that we're disconnected and not listening to our own wisdom or our own body wisdom to say, this isn't helpful. It's not, and I do remember when I made that shift. I would eat a lot of sweets and chocolates, and I could eat anything really, because I was so disconnected from how it was affecting my body. I was sort of in denial that nothing was wrong, and so no concept of that connection to my body. But the more I got connected to my spiritual path, the more I listened, the soul. I love that this reframe too. I used to always think the soul is in the body, but I think it was John O'Donohue. I think in his book Anamkara, I think he makes the distinction that the soul is not in the body. The soul is, the body is in the soul. The soul is in and around the body. I thought that was really interesting, because I always pictured the soul just in the body. But when we make the connection, how deeply connected our soul is to our bodies, vice versa, then we tending to our body, our physical, we are tending to our souls. But I still I make a distinction that there's self-care and soul care. Self-care is more of the human experience, how you're taking care of your body, your being, your life. And I suspect, and as I did, there was a lot of neglect of the physical. Again, financial stuff, material matters, taking care of my home, my house. I was always, up in the ethers, enjoying the sacred view. So this is why balance is important, right? And then the soul care is, yes, getting yourself out in nature, listening, turning into your inner world, paying attention, cultivating a relationship with your soul, with its wisdom, with the guidance, with your intuition. I always say getting out in nature is the best way to do that. Why? Because nature is the absolute invitation to our own true nature. No distractions, none of the human day-to-day distractions like social media, phones, TV shows, busyness of life, all the to-do lists. Yes, all that's important. But if we're only focused there, we're not stepping out to step in. I always say it's important to go outside, but then you go in when you're outside. Ultimate connection to true nature. Going outside in nature to drop into your true nature. And this is a place where you can do your contemplation or let nature reflect back your true nature. So soul work, tending the soul, dream work, imagery. I love to do interactive guided imagery with my clients. I can't tell you how, well, I'm going to tell you. What do you mean? I can't tell you. I am telling you. What a joy, and I think probably a deepening of my own spiritual path to take people through some of the processes I've learned over my 20 plus years of being a soul guide. When I guide them inward and they connect to their own soul wisdom, absolutely such an honor. And the tears will come when there's connection to the soul beyond their human experience and connected to all they need to navigate what is going on in the human experience. So soul work is so valuable and necessary. So the balance between, I had a little note up there. I want to make sure I did capture, books, trainings, things that you're drawn to, that you're called to. You also hear me say that a lot too, the soul call. What does that mean? A soul call to me is different than a goal. A goal is like, yes, the next thing I want to achieve in my human experience is this, that, or the other. A soul call is a deeper inner guidance towards something that you have absolute resonance with. And one way to know this is when you are witnessing someone else and you're absolutely in admiration of them and you're just like, there's something about it that you're just drawn to. Or maybe it's something that you thought of when you were a kid or were drawn to when you were a kid. And then when you allow yourself to talk about it, your whole being lights up. Do you ever experience that? I love those moments with my clients too, where they're in the human experience of, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what my purpose is. And then we'll come to something, or I'll look at their soul chart and reflect a few possibilities. And then it's like the lights come on and they go, oh, wow, hearing you say that, I remember I used to want to do, or I used to think it was possible. But see what happens in the human experience, we just get mired down with the human experience where doubt and fear and limitation is. And we begin to disconnect or shut down our knowing. And when we shut down our knowing, we shut down our soul growing. Sorry, I have to rhyme. I can't help it. I always say the Dr. Seuss transformation, or another. Someone used to call me Rapunzel when I was younger. I've always kind of had long hair. It grows like crazy. So Rapunzel, because I love to pun. I love jokes and love to be silly. And that is the way I'm guided to deliver information, from a lighthearted, playful way. And it kind of sticks with you, doesn't it? So your knowing is the way to soul growing. So what is knowing? And I wonder if you understand the distinction, the difference between intuition and just a conditioned reference. Like, are you on track with something because that's what is expected of you? What you saw your parents do, what your parents wanted you to do, what your family did. Families are awesome, but remember, we are individuals, an individual soul in the collective family. And yeah, I'm having this image of like, I won't grow past the family, right? I'm just going to stay small in the same patterns and habits and things that we all agreed to do in order to what? In the human experience, we're always concerned with getting our basic needs met, the need of safety, of security, of belonging, of being loved, and mattering. And so oftentimes we disconnect from our soul expansion, our soul wisdom, our soul nature, because we're wanting to conform to get those basic needs met. Here's the thing I want to say. Quotes come into my head, and maybe I'll have to look that up in a minute. That, well, you playing small and limited isn't serving anyone. And if you give yourself permission to grow past the limitations of your family of origin or the job you're in or the relationship you're in, so we fear, the greatest fear we have is losing what we have. But when we're in soul connection, there is no such thing as losing anything. We're all connected. And it is in that surrendering and trusting that we have another growth spurt. We expand our potential. We expand our soul possibilities. And we invite others to do the same. The quote that was coming to me was from, I think, another, between Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, which took me forever to learn how to say it, and hopefully I'm saying it right, and Anaïs Nin, I think her name she's passed, very eccentric soul who was an artist, like absolutely multifaceted talent. That is what soul is, multifaceted. All the things that we deny in our human experience, our soul's like, try it, be it, see it, allow it. Why not? But in our human experience, we're so concerned with what do other people think? What are they going to say? That's all human stuff, because it's like pulling us back into the limitation. I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I'm just kind of letting it flow. But the quote from Anaïs Nin, I think is how you say it. And if you know how to say it, correct me, please. Maybe put it phonetically in the comments. I'm going to have to look it up, because it's something about the risk it took to grow, and I don't have it in my head, so I'm going to look it up for you. Okay. To grow was, no, let's see, worth. I'll have to look her name up. Oh, here it is. Okay, Anaïs Nin. I think it's Anaïs Nin. Okay, here it is. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud, human experience, was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. I love that quote. And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. How I interpret that is the risk to connect to soul, empower soul potential, and expand into soul possibilities. But we stay limited in this bud form, beautiful, yeah, but not full potential. We need both awareness of our human experience, tending to our human experience, and tending and mending to the wounds of our human experience to emerge the gifts of our human experience connected to soul potential and soul purpose. Okay. Did any of this make sense to you? I like to soul muse. That's what I call it. I just sit with these concepts and I what does this mean to me and how does it feel? And then maybe add my own take on it. So I'm curious what you took away from anything I had to say. How do you balance your soul and your human experience? Are you a little out of balance? How do you know you're out of balance? I will give you a clue. Possibly if you're feeling a lot of guilt, shame, stress, tension, anxiety, definitely fear, you're too mired in the human experience. The opposite of that, are you just too much in the ethers that you're not paying attention to what's happening day to day? You haven't paid the bills that are due. You haven't set a budget. You haven't connected with people in the way you need to. Your business is kind of, you're neglecting your life. Or you're taking a spiritual bypass. A spiritual bypass is when we just it's like ostrich in that sand, head in the sand. I'm just going to pray it away. And I'm going to just, I'm just going to give it to God and trust everything's okay. Well, the saying, pray, move your feet while you're praying, is the way that we say, yeah, there's both and. We're both addressing the human and the soul. Move your feet while you pray. So the balance and spiritual bypasses, I always say, there's magical thinking and there's mystical thinking. And magical thinking is, I'm just going to pray and it's going to work out. Mystical thinking is, I recognize that I'm going to pray and I'm going to vision. That's another soul factor, working with your soul with visioning for higher possibilities. And visioning and connecting, catching those soul calls and soul possibilities, and then doing the work. Not bypassing, doing your soul work, doing your inner work, looking at your human beliefs, looking at your human patterns, asking, are my beliefs and patterns supporting this vision or the potential that Creator has placed within you? Or are you playing small, stuck in this tight bud, tight condition wrapped around you? I don't want to risk anything because we so fear change in the human experience. But in the soul unfolding journey, you must surrender and trust and grow. That's how we grow. All right, I could just go on with this for a while. I just wish you just joy and faith and trust right where you are. I hope that these words support you in some way. I hope you're enjoying your summer for my friends in the northern hemisphere, and for those of you in the southern hemisphere, you're enjoying your cozy winter. Let me know if you have any questions, anything you want to add. And again, click on my website to get a free consultation for 20 minutes. Or if you feel called to my work, schedule a session. I'd be happy to support you and your soul journey of unfolding and emerging your potential, really dialing in, connecting to your purpose, and providing the nurturing and the support that you need to fulfill the promise of your soul. All right, thanks for being with me. It's always a joy to know that people stop by and that you're with me, because I'm with you. All right, take good care. Until next time, I'll be doing a video probably tomorrow for the full moon in Capricorn. I've got a lot to say about that. So peace and joyful blessings to you. Thanks again. Bye-bye.